Avengers Endgame. What a thrill ride of a film. Was it the magnum opus of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Is it the greatest movie to ever movie a movie? No. Was it a satisfying conclusion to a 22 film arc? Absolutely. However, I believe a lot of people have horse blinders on when reviewing or talking about this movie. Don't get me wrong, the movie had some of the greatest moments in any Marvel movie, which I'll talk about later. It was a spectacle for sure. Hell, as I'm writing this, I was getting ready for a second viewing, and I've actually seen it a third time. But I think the movie falls short in some parts. I don't believe Endgame is better than Infinity War. I sure hope you're ready for spoilers. If not, why are you watching this? Go home. No, wait. Go to a theater and watch this movie. Or don't. I don't care. At least drink a beer. And not like a shitty beer. Something imported. Like a Corona. Yeah. Go have a Corona. What was I talking about? Let me just, get situated here. One sec. There. Much better. This movie opens almost exactly how I wanted it to open ever since I first saw Infinity War. Hawkeye's family is dusted and he's left alone. Fucking awesome. Could have been grim, but hey, I basically got what I wanted. The real Endgame starts off fast and furious. That was a joke. Get ready for a super abridged version of the plot. Tony gets saved real quick. Captain Marvel is like, boom, bang, I'm here. The team get together, head to space, and kill Thanos. Boom, what a shocking twist. Even more shocking, Thanos snapped the Infinity Stones out of existence. He is inevitable. The Avengers still lose like a bunch of losers. Cool stuff. 5-year time jump. Everyone's trying to move on. Black Widow is like the Avengers manager, I guess. Captain Marvel gets written out of the movie because she's way too OP and went back to space. Stuff is happening. People are trying to move on. That's all cool stuff. The real MVP of the movie is then introduced. The rat that turns on the quantum realm tunnel and frees Ant-Man. You did good, Splinter. You did good. Let's start with some things I don't particularly like. Banner and Hulk have become one. Like, Professor Hulk is cool. I love the idea of the two working together, but man, what a great story arc that is just glossed over. Banner Hulk doesn't really do much in this movie. He helps build a time machine. His biggest moment is him using the gauntlet to undo the snapping. I would love to see the Hulk get a second chance at fighting Thanos. Here's hoping the more Hulk and Banner in the future. Thor had such a great story arc in Ragnarok and Infinity War. His story here, well, it felt a little flat. Or should I say, bad. Since his first movie, he wanted to be king, but realized he wasn't ready. In his second one, he was ready to be king, but didn't want it. In his third movie, he finally accepted his role as king. He came around full circle, and had such a great story arc across 5 films up to Infinity War. Even in Infinity War, he's a man who lost everything, and yet keeps fighting. Because it's noble and it needs to be done. He's a king, he's a warrior, he's a fighter. Then we get to Endgame. He's pissed off and can't wait to take the fight to Thanos. He learned from his mistakes and cut his head off. Then jump ahead 5 years, and we have fat, drunk, big Lebowski Thor. Thor's just wallowing in his defeat. The guy who literally watched his mom, dad, brother, sister, and his planet die in front of him and still chose to fight. He becomes a joke. And yes, I did laugh at him in the movie both times I saw it. Correction, all 3 times I saw it. Doesn't mean I like what they did with his character. It's like Trevor from Iron Man 3. That twist is funny. I laugh. It was dumb and I hated it. Though, Thor's future setup is pretty neat. Tony and Cap both have great endings to their story. Tony, having survived the depths of space, now has moved on, marrying Pepper and having a daughter. He got his happy ending in a whole mess of things. But that's only for 5 years. Tony gets back in action, builds a time machine, and joins the Avengers in traveling through time and collecting the Infinity Stones before Thanos finds them all. And then some more we'll talk about later. Captain America is ready to fight and joins the team, minus Iron Man, to go kill Thanos and get the Infinity Stones. After they fail, he moves on and counsels those who lost people in the snapping. When Scott comes back with a chance of time travel, he's ready to quantum leap. All standard Captain America stuff. I can dig it. Hawkeye is now a killer in a cool costume, which is only important for all of 4 minutes, and that's probably exaggerating. Sucks, but whatever. Hawkeye Ronin is cool, he's moody, sporting a sweet tattoo, and a mohawk. Uh-huh. Hawkeye and Black Widow go to Vormir in the past to retrieve the Soul Stone and fight over who will kill themselves to get the stone. It's a very cool moment for both characters. Black Widow kills herself. Her killing herself brings her arc to an end, and I think it's very fitting and she comes full circle. Hawkeye, after becoming a murderer, gets a chance to redeem himself. What we all want. Some of the time travel stuff was cool. Tony got to go back to the 70s and finally have that goodbye with his father that he never got to have. Cap became Hydra and fought Cap. We got to see America's ass. Bringing the Ancient One back was cool too. I really enjoyed the revisiting of past events and seeing more of those events that we never got to see in those movies, like in the Avengers, what happened after the superhero pose in front of Loki. I know I started rambling, so long story short, to go back to the plot, the heroes end up with the stones, and Evil Nebula from 2014 ends up in 2023. Hulk undoes the snapping with his own snapping. Evil Nebula brings 2014 Thanos to the present for one of the most epic climax battles. So much fan service. Cap using Mjolnir was awesome. I have some minor issues with the climax. Thor doesn't really get a great moment in it. Hulk doesn't really do anything. Strange does nothing. Pretty much just people just not getting to do anything cool. The majority of the heroes don't really have a memorable moment. One of my minor problems with the climax fight is they did not take that moment from the comics where Captain America stands up to Thanos and says, as long as one man stands against you, you'll never win, or whatever the line is. And it just seemed like a very missed opportunity to have that in the movie. Still a really cool sequence. That A-Force Easter egg in the climax was cool. Finally having Captain America say Avengers Assemble is just fantastic. We waited so long for that moment. After everything, Thanos gets his hands on the new Iron Man gauntlet, but is almost stopped by the super duper OP Captain Marvel before removing the Power Stone from the gauntlet in a 200 IQ play and blasting her away, before causing another snapping. Thanos reiterates a line from earlier saying, I am inevitable. Insert clip of him saying, I am inevitable.
I am inevitable.
But imagine this. If his plan didn't change, and he was just going to wipe everyone's memories of the snap, and of who got snapped, and his final line to Tony was, when I'm finished, half of humanity will still exist, but they won't remember you. How cool would that have been? Anyways, Thanos is inevitable, and his fingers after fighting over the gauntlet with Tony. When nothing happened, Tony reveals he took the stones, and Thanos and his army out of existence. Tony's line of, and I am Iron Man, is just super fitting for his character, and just a nice throwback to the end of Iron Man 1. Tony then dies. In a very emotional moment involving Peter Parker, Pepper, Rhodey. Yeah, that's about it. There's a funeral, very emotional stuff, it works. Thor joins the Guardians of the Galaxy, which I am super excited to see where that goes. Cap goes to return stones and stays in the past with Peggy, getting his happy ending just as Tony did earlier in the movie. He then comes back to the present, or maybe he was always there. It's kind of confusing and no one really knows. The time travel stuff gets confusing when they make it seem like they need that quantum realm tunnel to return, but then they also don't because they jump through time while they're already jumping through time in the past. So the time travel stuff gets a little confusing. Old Man Cap then passes his shield on to Sam. Captain Falcon coming to a streaming service near you this fall. There's a lot to take in from this movie, and I've seen it 3 times at this point. It's a lot of fun, the final act is great, and it's a satisfying ending to the journey these heroes have been on. I'm gonna miss Tony. Iron Man has always been my favorite superhero. 7.5 out of 10. I don't think it told a better story than Infinity War, and I found Infinity War had more shocks and twists. It kept me more on the edge of my seat. But man, did I ever enjoy Endgame. But, as always, that's just my damn opinion. comment below and let me know your thoughts on Endgame and which Marvel movie you like the most. And if you like this video, click the like button and subscribe. Thanks.